Age of Conan Valeria. Should be titled Too Little, Too Late. What are these bouncy round objects I see before me? These fun bags, heaving bosoms, breastises. It's something that you don't see in comics nowadays. A woman that looks like a woman. Admittedly, she's an idealized woman, but so are the men in the comics. Believe it or not, most men don't have six-packs or are built like professional athletes. So the feminists who lose their rags over how women are drawn always seem to overlook how the men are drawn. It reminds me of the health at every size and the body positivity movement. They always show these barely ambulatory, grossly morbidly obese women who get out of breath when talking. On another video, I will do a simple summary on diet and exercise, how to get started on the low-calorie, low-carb diet. The short version is stop eating junk food, eat more vegetables, include a little exercise, lift some weights, or just start walking. I promise you it's much easier than it sounds. Anyway, so the body positivity movement is all women. Where are the men? This is the difference between the sexes. For some reason, people are much harsher and realistic to men, where they are more likely to just tell women what they want to hear. So you end up with these 200-pound women with breathing problems, arthritis, bad backs, diabetes, missing toes from the diabetes, sleep problems, who are trapped in these miserable fat suits. Just walking is painful to them, and they are sitting around complaining about not finding fashionable clothes in their size. But fashion depends on clothing going on a human body. It's a blend of form and function. Long, lean muscles with a tiny layer of fat. The human body was designed to get by on very little calories and maintain a high activity level. It was designed to move. It has angles and planes and muscles. It looks linear with some muscular bulges. Obese people have a shape. It's round. How do you create haute couture for a sphere? Some of these fatties are blobs with tiny little hands and feet sticking out. Serious question here. How do you fashionably design a tent? Really, shouldn't every moo-moo be in army drab or in woodland camo, or just white with red letters that say, I am dying of heart disease, and your taxes will pay for my medical expenses, LOL. If it's possible to design 5XL clothing for land whales, why doesn't one of the land whales simply design a clothing line? Because fashion stops at 3XL. I imagine gay French designers being told they have to design fashionable tents for the 200-pound club. Pierre will tell you that fashion wasn't made for fatties. It's part of PC culture to think that all things have to be made for all people. But as Brie Larson said, high fashion isn't made for land whales. Stop eating donuts before you explode, you disgusting fat blob of lard. I believe that is an exact quote. Another quick tip for my land whale brethren out there. Look up some veggie blender recipes on YouTube. You mix ice, protein powder, and vegetables for a tasty meal replacement. Spinach is your friend there. You know, it's funny, and my buddy and I make fun of fat people who are actually skinnier than us. It's hysterical when a 300-pounder asks a 200-pounder if they're gaining weight. They look at you in confusion, then laugh and call you an asshole. See? Fat people are jolly. Obviously, I could make fun of fatties all day. It's a target-rich environment, so to speak. Obesity is weird. It's basically similar to drug abuse, where you destroy your life and your body with a substance, but it's entirely voluntary. But we look down at the coke whores or the pill poppers. Sorry, Cecil. But the donut junkies are stunning and brave. How does that work? I think one of the reasons is because the body positivity movement is almost entirely women. Each group is tons of women. It's maybe 10 women, but tons. Dear Bianca, please don't ever try to be funny. God, it would be hysterical if there was a body positivity for men. A big advertising push showing morbidly obese men in muumuus saying, real men have curves, and they ride fatty scooters. Women would immediately laugh their asses off. Suddenly, all the fat-shaming rules would go out the window. I think men know this, so they bypass the movement. Oddly enough, it's the only movement without movement. Imagine a health at every size parade. Half the crowd would be in electric scooters or walkers. Call me crazy, but that doesn't seem healthy to me. And the thing is, we all know it's not healthy. Hard drugs or booze to excess, obesity, it's all unhealthy. But you know, all the doctors and nutritionists are all in a conspiracy to keep women from being 200 pounds. Yes, the conspiracy is to keep you alive. All these evil doctors want to keep you healthy and happy and to keep healthcare costs low. Here's the thing about the push to get fatties to exercise and be more active. You can't exercise away a bad diet. 90% of a body transformation is diet. If you adjust your diet and get on a low-carb or keto diet, you'll drop fat fast, several pounds a week. And then if you add in an hour or two of walking, you're going to burn even more fat. You can do the math yourself. Add up the calories of the high glycemic junk food that you eat, then calculate how many hours you would need to burn it off. There simply aren't enough hours in the day to burn off a burrito or chips or soda. It's one thing if you're an Olympic-level athlete, but we all know that we aren't in that category. Actually, when you are starting your transformation, you definitely want to keep the exercise gentle and low impact. You're carrying around 20 pounds or more of extra lard. That is doing damage to your joints. So just walk until your new diet flenses the fat off you like blubber off of Moby Dick. What's that you say? You're more than 20 pounds overweight? Yeah, I'm just being a wise ass. Let's be honest here. If you're some fatty sitting on the couch playing video games with a taco wrapper and soda or beer cans in front of you, you already know that you're fat and it's time to change things up a bit. Put down the tacos, put some spinach, a scoop of whey protein, a banana, a bit of peanut butter and ice in a blender with water, milk, or diet root beer. That is your simple meal replacement. Obviously, you can get more fancy than that, and of course, stay away from soy protein. It will turn you into a giant pussy. Now, I realize that I have been a bit harsh to those whose abundant cup has overflowed, but under the humor, let me reiterate that dropping the fat isn't rocket science. It's just not that hard, and I promise you that you will feel so much better if you drop 20 pounds. I've dropped more than that, and everything is easier. Just walking around, getting upstairs, or walking up hills when dog walking. Plus, most of your aches and pains will disappear. A couple more things to remember. Don't eat at night. Try to have an early dinner, and once it's over, no more calories in any form until breakfast. The longer the period you have between dinner and breakfast, the more fat you'll burn. And if you're really motivated, exercise first thing in the morning before breakfast, while your body is still burning a higher percentage of fat. You also want to eat lower glycemic foods. So print out or memorize the glycemic index and glycemic loads of different foods. Start by eating foods that don't spike your blood sugar. Then start cutting out carbs at dinner. Finally, your diet should be focused on vegetables and lean meats, or you can go the keto route, which is probably the best diet on the planet for people who have trouble dropping fat. Later on, after you drop the first 20 pounds, you can start to get fancy and add in quick-release proteins throughout the day and slow-release proteins at night. You don't need to go overboard. A scoop added to a vegetable smoothie is fine. And a final thought, if you're sitting on the couch smoking weed, playing video games, and you're stuck in a rut, you may have issues that require some outside help. You might need some Prozac, some therapy, or a 12-step program. Don't let fear stop you from getting the help you need. Get help, then jump after your goals. And be sure to weigh yourself every day. You won't drop every day. Some days you might even gain a bit, but the overall trend will be downward. So don't obsess over it, just keep track of it. Finally, you can have some fun with it. Keep a video diary about your diet, your exercise, and fat loss. Some people, they do, I mean, because we all have these high definition cell phones and cameras, obviously. They all take pretty decent pictures. And we have social media, a place to put these things, either publicly or privately, whatever you want. Some people will take photographs of their meals. That might be useful in the beginning when you're simply eating more meals. But once you get your diet actually dialed in, you probably won't be doing that because you're not eating that many meals a day, and you're not eating that much. But you can, do a little video of it, take photographs, post them on Instagram, or show a video of the meal preps, veggie shakes, what your simple breakfast might consist of, mostly vegetables, a couple eggs. And after you get into it for a bit, you can realize that most of your carbs should be coming from vegetables, tomatoes and zucchinis and squash and broccoli and spinach and whatever. I mean, I've had to learn more about vegetables and how to mix and match them to get a good mixture. But you don't have to obsess over the exact right balance of different vitamins. Just eat, different vegetables throughout the day, different ones for breakfast, for lunch, or for dinner. Or you might even do a 2-meal-a-day plan. That seems to work pretty well. So you can, do a little, show people your walks and your exercise, and do a little video diary on YouTube. Even if nobody watches it, it's still fun to make. Believe it or not, videos are fun to make, even if nobody watches them. And it's great motivation, because it's like there's an old saying. They say the things you focus on are the things you move towards. And having a written diary is good, but having a video diary is even better, especially if you show your food plan, your exercise, your daily weigh-ins, and you just make a short video and post that every day. You will definitely be moving towards your goals very, very quickly if you do these kind of things. And I think somebody did a study where they said people who weigh themselves every day lose more weight than people who don't. And it's definitely, you keep track of things much, much better when you have quantitative facts to help you. So it is great motivation. Anyway, let me know how you're going with it if you decide to get on it. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Anyway, good luck. I'll see you next episode. And one last thing to remember is there's a phrase you might want to repeat to yourself. It's a question you ask yourself. Are you going to talk about it, or are you going to be about it? And that seems to put all things in perspective. Anyway, this is this comic I took a look at, Age of Conan, Valeria, is shocking. It is absolutely shocking, because it has a pretty blonde girl with big boobs in it. What is this doing? And a lot of it's silly. She's 120-pound, beautiful girl with, I don't know, what are those, small D cups? I'm not a breast person. I'm not an expert on breasts, on boobs, but you don't see this in comics anymore. And she's a hard drinking, of course. She drinks the men under the table, which it can happen, but it's pretty rare. But it's fun. I mean, it's just a fun, lighthearted comic. And this is only the first issue, so maybe they're keeping the propaganda. Sometimes they'll save the propaganda for the third issue, after they realize the comic's not going to sell anyway. But this is, I'm sure I don't know whoever wrote this or drew this, I'm sure they'll be fired. Because mainstream comics has a habit of, snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And I mean, you can't have something like this. The line of sight is going towards the crotch. There are the 12 angry sociopaths on Twitter who will point out things like this about these vectors going towards her vagina. Guess what? Sex sells. That shouldn't be shocking to you. Beautiful young people sell products because humans like to mate with beautiful young people. Anyway, this is a refreshing change of pace, and I'm sure they will destroy it in the next few issues, because they can't have something. They can't have beauty. They can't have beautiful things. Beautiful things reinforce the patriarchy or something, like OMG, something my socialist professor told me. We shouldn't have babies, but we should open the borders and let people come in from other countries who have babies and don't give a shit about the environment. Very strange, very strange. So yeah, I'm sure they'll screw this up in the next few years. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe, and good luck in your body transformation.